Welcome to the Golden Note podcast. My name is Jesse.
And I'm Karen Deep.
Today, we are going over yet another album from the 1001 albums you should listen to before you die. This band that we're going to be covering is called The Thrills, and their album is called So Much for the City. I had never heard of this band before,
Me neither.
so I was intrigued. I was like, what is this going to be like? Based on the album cover, what did you think, Karen?
I thought that this was a bunch of high school kids with too much money and time on their hands. The first time I looked at this. But it looks like they're having fun.
Yeah.
And it looks like they don't have a drinking problem. So overall, great impression. I feel like it's a very wholesome
Nice.
album cover.
Yeah.
And it was just something that you would see in like your uncle's basement.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Basement. Yeah, it does have a very retro vibe going on the album cover, like throwback to the 60s kind of thing. But the album came out in 2003. So very clearly they are intentionally going for some throwback feeling. And in general, I don't know, like I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. It looks like they're on a farm or something, but there's like a tour bus kind of in the background. Maybe they're shooting like a music video,
Yeah.
and they're just like, "Hey, this could be a good group picture," and then it's like, "Hey, let's just use this for the album cover." I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that was the conversation. That's how this happened. I love also how they're all wearing denim, pretty much. All the guys sitting are just like wearing different shades of blue denim, so that's pretty sick.
Yeah, I guess so. Good.
Some
That's sick.
gene rock about to occur here.
Says the man wearing denim.
Yeah, exactly. Just my kind of people. Yeah, I don't know. Not much thoughts about it. So Much for the City is the album name. I don't know. I don't really know. It's just kind of it is what it is. I don't know if I necessarily want to buy it if I saw this album cover, but it also doesn't make me hate it.
You know what bothers
It's
me
just
about
mid.
it?
I'd say mid.
Yeah, mid. What bothers me about it the most is the track listings being like horizontal and then having like a gap on the second line, so it goes across and then across halfway.
Yeah, actually, that's really ugly.
It's like they could have formatted that so much better.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put it on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, okay, this is trash. Yeah. It went from mid to trash. But we'll see. Let's see how the music pans out, right?
Yeah.
Right off the bat, the first track, I noted the soft vocals. I noted that there was some diverse instrumentation going on. There's some piano, twangy guitars constantly,
Yes.
you know?
Constantly.
It's very fun, uplifting, hopeful vibe on this track. And spoiler alert, you're going to get a lot of that throughout this entire album. But
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of
What were your
repetitions
thoughts?
as well. I thought it was a very interesting mix of like, I think it was piano with the guitar.
Mm.
For a moment, it kind of felt like a harpsichord or something. It was very old twang.
Yeah.
But the way those two sounds blended was quite nice, and I never heard anything like that. But there's a lot of twang going on with that.
And much like the album cover, the songs are also evoking that, late 60s, early 70s kind of like pop rock, gene rock vibe going on.
It feels
Very
like
Americana too.
Yeah. To me, it feels like the indie of that time.
Yeah, for sure. But I would say that those sounds are still definitely pretty popular, like
Yeah.
in the States. Like even like Eagles vibes a little bit with some of this stuff. I also noted for especially the third song, Don't Steal Our Sun, it's very Beach Boys.
Yeah.
And
yes.
and it like it really creeps up on you as you listen to more and more songs. It sounds like this, like they loved the Beach Boys. Like there's a lot of Beach Boys influence here.
Part of the reason why I'm wearing my beach shirt.
There you go. And I'm wearing like the opposite, just like black shirt here. The next song, if you're cool to move on.
Yes. No problem.
I don't even, is this Big Sur?
Big Sur.
Big Sur. Cool intro with some subtle synth. Once again, we got a nice sunny track, very positive vibes. At this point, though, the singer says "man," and I think in the chorus, like so he just says the word "man," And I was like, that sounded weird. That was not like an American way to say man.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I gotta look up because I didn't do a lot of research before listening to this. I just dove right into the album, and so then I started doing some research, like where are these guys from? And it turns out they're from Ireland.
Holy, I did not know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
like they like at least the singer, but I think most of them like were from Ireland, but then they like moved to the United States to like bolster their music careers,
Mhm.
and they got a lot of inspiration from like living in California, and like that rubbed off on them for like the music that they make. Like they were like really inspired by like the, and that's where the Beach Boys come in. It's just
Yeah.
like the very sunny vibes of their music kind of translated from them just like living in California. So Irish American band.
That explains a lot of those nuances in
Yeah.
the way he sings.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, and maybe this would be a good segue into talking about the singer, because
Sure.
at this point, I was like, "This is interesting."
Yeah.
I did not feel like that at the end of the album. At the end of the album, I was like, "Please stop!
I
Why are
agree.
you singing like this? Like just use your full voice." I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was an intentional thing, but I went like. Because I'm a singer, and I used to sing like that when I was like 12. Because
Thank God you
I was like,
used to sing like that.
because I was too nervous. It was like a nerves thing, and also I just felt like my pitch was better if I sang like softer and more whispery. Like I felt like I had more control over my voice, and it just like that's just how people sing. Like just how I sing. And then I went to vocal lessons, and my vocal teacher was like, "Why are you singing like this?" And like I have another guy who's also like doing vocal stuff, and he sings like you too. Like I don't get it. And he
Going
like
off.
really trained it out of me to be like, you need to sing with a full voice, like sing with your chest, like project your voice. It's really
Mhm.
important. And sorry, I'll yap for like one
No,
more
go ahead,
second
go ahead.
here. There are certain genres, certain singers who do sing with a very whispery voice, and that's fine because they pull it off really well for the music that they're making. Whereas I would say this gets really tiresome really quickly
Yeah,
on this album.
yeah.
Okay, sorry, you go.
Man, this guy's voice reminds me of like that. So here's some imagery going on of that like strange, awkward kid in the back of your class who like, he gets along
Here
with
comes
every.
another vision.
They have a psychic apparently. He like
Paint the picture for us.
everyone kind of gets along with him, but nobody really knows him, and he isn't particularly best friends with everybody, but just kind of an awkward kid in the back. And so you think he's like that loner, kind of strange kid, and then every song that he sings in his record is kind of like the internal world of that kid, but he still sings it as if he's awkward and kind of timid. And there's moments where he feels like he's not projecting, but like putting himself forward in the music. But then the way it's portrayed, it just comes out like this character. Here's what I wrote down. In the interpretation of the tone as provoking is, quote unquote, "Why don't you just fight me, huh, buddy?" Like whispering in a weak, feeble fashion is this guy's way of socializing. And I think his voice and performance in this entire record is that character of that kid in the back of the class.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Yeah. You painted a picture I didn't know that I needed, but
Oh, you're welcome.
You know what? It really does sum up how the singer is on this album. It just maybe you at home, people listening to this album, maybe you'll like it, but for both, apparently for Karen Deep and I, we do not like this vocalist. At first it was okay. At first it was like, okay, this is fun, this is nice, vibey, but it's just like after a while it's just like, stop. Like just sing properly, please. So anyways, we'll stop talking about the singer a little bit now. Sorry if you're the singer and you're listening. You have good pitch. Like you hit the notes. It's just I don't know.
Do better.
It's not the vibe. Yeah. Anyways, don't
Rough.
don't steal our sun. All I wrote here is big Beach Boys vibes.
Yeah.
And you can really hear it on other songs too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had more to say about
I wrote the same thing. It was like a watered down version of the Beach Boys, more
Okay.
teenage friendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, just okay. Deck chairs and cigarettes. I had a lot of hope for the songs. I love the title.
Yeah.
I was like, this is fun. This is cool. It's definitely vibey, like very mellow. The ocean sounds in the background during the course were a choice that they made.
What kind of choice, Jesse?
I don't know. At first, I was like, "This is weird," but it didn't really affect me that much. After I was like, "Hey, whatever." There is piano, which I enjoyed. I think the most.
Yeah, I like that it started off with the piano. It was a nice vibe change, but it fell flat throughout the song because the song just wasn't super inspiring. I think that the title of it, "Deck Chairs and Cigarettes," when they mentioned that in the song, it felt weak. It felt like just it's a nuanced moment of they're probably recollecting some memories and it has a lot of weight to them. But I think the way they used it in the song just felt like a weak moment to evoke imagery that didn't feel grounded in the way they built up to that moment. So you can mention these kind of nuanced objects in songs to kind of paint the picture of the story, but I felt like they just didn't really place it in the story effectively.
Or they didn't make it like universal so that like we could connect to it, right?
Yeah. It's a bit more nuanced, a little bit more like this is an
Hyper-specific
internal
to them.
feeling. Yeah, very good way to put it. Hyper specific to them. Near the end, however, there were some guitars that were having some delay, and that was really nice.
Okay.
It was very apparent, like very intentional, but it felt it worked really well. I like the guitars at the near the end of with the delays.
Cool.
Yeah.
The next track is One Horse Town. Fun vibes on this track again, but overall just meaningless. Like I was really hoping for like more lyrically. I guess that's another kind of weak spot for me on this album was just like the lyrics did absolutely nothing for me, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts are.
Kind of in the same place. I think I just struggled with connecting with the vibe of it. The one horse town. I think I haven't grown up in a lot of rural communities. I don't know too many people in rural communities. So like I was trying to understand like what does that mean, having a one horse town? Is it very desolate? Is it very no opportunities? Like what kind of vibe is that? So it's hard for me to paint the picture just because I feel disconnected with what they're trying to point at. But I wish they had done a better job with painting that picture than I could have imagined what it would have been.
Yeah.
It was very weak and repetitive and unimaginative. That's a big word.
Yeah. I totally see that. Next one, if we can move on here, Old Friends, New Lovers. This is when I was like, soft vocals are starting to get like tiresome. There's some string sounds in this track, and I was like, fake or real? Couldn't like is it like a synth string sound or is it like an actual like violin players came in and
I couldn't put my finger on it either.
Yeah.
I
So-
didn't listen too closely to that, but when it hit me, I was like unsure.
It sounded nice. I was just curious. I was like, it sounds a little synthetic. And there's some harmonica in the outro. You know me and my harmonica.
Yeah.
I like a good harmonica. So, but yeah,
This track,
mid.
Mid. On this track, this is where like that taunting, like, do you want to fight me, buddy, idea came about. It was softer. It was a little bit more intimate, but it just felt like, this is what I wrote. I dislike the vocal delivery, quote unquote. It's like he's taking the piss. So it felt like he was taking the piss out of me. And I didn't like that.
Yeah.
No. I was offended.
I was gonna say you're getting like angry over here.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm opinionated on that song.
There's some country vibes on "Say It Ain't So," which are cool, but that's really all I got. Besides the fact that they're whipping off Weezer with the track title. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that.
I thought the same.
Weezer has full rights on that name. Hollywood Kids was probably the only track lyrically for me that I was like, oh, like this is cool, and there's like an actual message that's like, straightforward, and it's not kind of just like this fake like artsy thing where it's like, oh, we're just gonna put like vague lyrics out, but then they're just boring, so there's actually no like, it's not interesting. But whereas this one, it was a little bit interesting. It's a good message.
Mm-hmm.
If only it wasn't so sleepy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a very
Yes.
sleepy track for me, and I was just like, I'm ready to nap right now. So
The only thing I liked about this track was there was a sliding guitar riff happening,
Mm.
and it kept on reminding me of a song, but I don't know what that song was. Like, it was on the tip of my tongue, and because I kind of kept guessing what the song was the entire track, I was engaged, but the track wasn't engaging at all. So it's more of like, oh, this is a fun game. What could this sound like? This sounds like something of a better song. So I want to find out what that is to listen to the better song.
Yeah.
So there
That's
was a
so funny.
yeah. I
That's
skipped it.
devastating. I really hope that like the artist is definitely not going to be listening to this, but if they are, sorry.
Come at me.
Yeah.
We can have a chat.
Oh.
We're having a chat right now.
Yeah, we're having a chat right
It's
now.
not personal. I'm just
You're just
we're
offended.
talking. Yes,
um,
you're right.
I should probably say, because I'm talking about all this hype about like, oh, the message is really good in the song. I'm not talking about what it is. Hollywood Kids, it's literally like you can get a lot from the title there. Like it's talking about like, I guess kids growing up in the LA area, or just kids who are like surrounded by privilege and like the whole like Hollywood scene, like maybe the entertainment industry, and people kind of look at them from the outside as like, oh, they're really lucky, but also they're living lives that are they could be living lives that are very kind of devoid of any meaning or like anything that's like of substance. And so maybe we should actually feel bad for them, kind of thing. I was like, huh, that's an interesting flip
Yeah.
on the narrative. So that was a message that I was alluding to that I liked from the lyrics. But anyways, let's move on. There's really not much else that I have to say about this album. Like just very much the same thing. Like you get a lot of sunny vibes, a lot of positive songs here, very 60s, 70s, Beach Boys, evoking feelings. There's a line in Your Love Is Like a City I Visited. Wait, is that the Las Vegas one? There's one about Las Vegas. I think that's the one. Do you have the exact title track?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. It's I think maybe this is the full one. Your Love Is Like a City I Visited. Las Vegas is the city they're talking about. But in the song, they say,
Right.
what is it? What's the title track?
Oh, I don't know. But I do remember them saying Las Vegas. I don't want to look it up.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It's there's a line in the song where it's like, you're like Pete Best, and then there's just like, you're like Pete Best in the sense that you're like bitter and angry. And I was like, dang, what did Pete Best ever do to this?
There's a couple of name drops where I just felt like it fell flat, and that was one of them.
Yeah, it was just like name dropping for the sake of name dropping. You never want to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like a mini lull moment. And I was like, okay, moving on. And yeah, there's some fun synth on the last song. I think the last song was the only one that I was like, I will add this. I added it to my chill vibey playlist that I have.
Wow. Any song on this record made your chill vibey playlist? I'm impressed.
Yeah.
You got a threshold for pain.
I don't know. The last song, I was like, I could see myself, like, if this was the only track I listened to from this album, I would have been like, wow, this is really cool.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So for some reason, I was able to separate myself from the rest, having just listened to the rest of the album, and like, this song could work on its own. So yeah, that was like the only one that like made the cut for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had anything else to say about the last few tracks that I sped through.
Not much.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, same kind of thing.
I got some overall thoughts.
Okay, overall thoughts. Let's hear them.
Yeah. Song structures, repetitive. I felt like there's multiple moments in each song where it felt like it could have just ended. But they had another chorus, they had another instrumental that was the same as the intro instrumental, and it felt just longer than it needed to be for like almost consistently throughout the board. And I tried skipping and going back to like the last song to see if it started like as if it started from the beginning, and it did. So it was like you got the whole song, and then you got the first like third of the song tacked onto the end to make the whole song. And like that was completely unnecessary. So that was very alarming to me. Vocal delivery, trash. Vibes, meh. So that's my overall thoughts.
The vibes they were going for were immaculate. It was just the way that they were doing it was just not ideal. So,
Fair.
all right, let's get our final scores here. Wow, we really talked a lot of trash on this album.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I might have to give this a 2 out of 5. Yeah. All right. Wait. Sorry. I'm gonna give the score a 5 out of 5. Karen Deep's gonna give a score out of 5, and then we're gonna combine our scores. If it happens to be a 9 out of 10, which it's probably not gonna be a 9 out of 10, but if any of the future albums that we cover are a 9 out of 10, we will be doing something special to commemorate such a good score. But anyways, let's get back to it. 2 out of 5 for me. Karen Deep, what's your score?
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
Yeah, those two,
Equals 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10 as a total score. That 2 points just goes to like the guitar player's choice for using that delay, and the band, because the band was great. They had a great feel when they were playing.
Yeah.
Songs are trash though.
Yeah. Like, undeniably, there's talent amongst the whole band, right? Like, there's a reason why some people really love this album. And, you know, you got to have respect for musicians in general and putting themselves out there. So that's why I give it a 2. And there were moments that I really liked on this album. It's just like, on the whole, it was just not for me. Not for me. Not something I'll revisit. So we recommend skipping this album.
Yes, we do.
Unless you really, really love those 60s, 70s Beach Boys vibes, and you're just looking to like put something on in the background to have a positive experience, and you don't mind whispery as hell vocals.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to the Golden Note podcast. And please leave a comment on what you think of our review and the album. Also, if you liked it, make sure you give us a like and subscribe for more.
Yes. See you in the next one.